Justice.
Already the third longest session in 2 decades, and lawmakers gotta be ready to go home, right? Well, they have an odd way of showing it, introducing new bills on day 115. The all-time record is right around the corner, and it's costing you a pretty penny, a lot of them. Pfizer's on track to have a COVID vaccine approved for kids. Yesterday, we heard from parents who plan to put their kids in line for a shot. Well, today, we hear from the other side, from the parents and kids who won't. If you consider queso, chimichangas, hard-shelled tacos, and margaritas a real Mexican meal, well then Cinco de Mayo is your day. Oh sure, it started south of the border, but it's more of an hour thing now. 3 days away. 3 days away. It all sounds like a cheer, doesn't it? Well, just think, come Monday, we'll all be able to say we were here when Idaho's legislature was in session for the longest string of days ever. Hoping to avoid that ranking, lawmakers continue their whirlwind of action down at the State House today. And chances are, things are happening so fast, if you blinked, you may have missed it. That's why we have Joe Paris here for us. There's a very real goal for Idaho lawmakers to essentially get their business done for the year by late tonight or maybe even first thing tomorrow morning. It's just kind of a wait and see kind of thing. Some lawmakers, though, not really convinced and believe the developments throughout the day today indicate there's still some work, legislative work, to be done beyond tomorrow. It is kind of wait and see, but Joe Paris shows us one group of lawmakers says the session is just out of control, so they tried to just wrap it up this morning.
Madam President.
Senator Burgoyne.
Thank you, Madam President. I move that the Senate now adjourn sine die.
Madam President, second the motion.
I request a roll call vote.
A sudden move on the Senate floor Wednesday morning. Idaho Democrats moved to adjourn for the year. The motion to adjourn failed on a vote, but Idaho Senate Minority Leader Democrat Michelle Stennett says the motion sends a clear message from Senate Democrats.
We just said enough already. Somebody's got to stand up and be the adult in the room. Can't continue. If you're not willing to do what we were sent here to do, what our people asked us to do, we have no business staying here.
We're off the tracks. We are a runaway train, and we're off the track right now.
Minority Caucus Chair, Democrat Janie Ward-Engelking, says it is frustrating to watch new bills printed and heard as recently as this afternoon after Democrats were told weeks ago that it was too late in the session to consider things like funding all-day kindergarten. She says she continues to hear the same comment from Idahoans. Get the big items done.
What we need to do is pass the budgets, balance our budget, and go home. And the people in my district are saying, you need to do the people's work and go home. This is ridiculous. We didn't elect a full-time legislature. We don't want a full-time legislature.
The Democrats' move to adjourn for the session was met with less enthusiasm by Republicans. They argue there is still important work to be done.
I don't understand why we'd have this motion on the floor at this time. We still have a lot of work to do for the people of Idaho. I think it's a slap in the people's face of Idaho that we haven't finished our business, that we haven't given property tax relief, that we haven't done a lot of things that need to be done for the benefit of our citizens, and the senator votes no.
During an AARP town hall this afternoon, I messaged in to Governor Brad Little asking if he wanted to see the legislature wrap up. He had a short and sweet response.
Yes.
That's a very, very quick answer too. So, all right.
I think they do too.
I believe we're about exactly where we were yesterday. We just have to take some time to work the logistics of running the last few bills through.
House Speaker Republican Scott Bedke tells me, despite concerns from some lawmakers, he believes the legislature is getting very close to essentially finishing.
If everything goes as planned, we'll finish up the floor work either by late this afternoon or first thing tomorrow morning. Then we plan on going at recess, unpaid recess.
The plan for now is for lawmakers to come back early next week, giving the governor time to take action on vetoing any newly passed legislation. Lawmakers could then react and wrap up next week. However, there is a belief that lawmakers may not formally end the session at that point. Instead, they would recess unpaid with the possibility that they could come back before the end of the year.
Keep in mind, this is a redistricting year, and the federal government, the census is not in, and those numbers are not in. And if they don't come in on time, then that will cause some problems as we redistrict the state. And so there's probably some good reasons why we should keep the door open or cracked at least until later this fall.
For Senate Democrats, it's simply wait and see. They say previous timelines given to them by the majority have simply fallen through as of late.
We've been listening to the people, and regardless of location in Idaho, regardless of party, people are pretty frustrated with the lack of urgency to get our business done and how it's prolonged at taxpayer expense.
All right, Joe, we've seen a lot of half-day sessions, half session days, like you call it, but actually doing stuff. Half-day work days there at the State House this year. But right now, after 5, still kind of going at it, right?
Oh yeah, the House and the Senate are still working hard, and a real sign, for example, on the Senate side that they're planning on working deep into the night. The announcement was that the Idaho Senate was going to get some pizza here in the next half hour or so, which would really be an indicator that they want the lawmakers to stay there, have dinner, not leave the Capitol and come back and work through the evening. Over on the House side, I know that they're talking through some important issues. I just wanted to add something from Speaker Bedke, Brian, that some of these pieces of legislation that were introduced in committee as recently as a few hours ago, they aren't going anywhere, and they actually will not be making it out of committee. Sometimes you're going to go ahead and print an RS as a bill so that it's a jumping off point, he says, for next year, and so that the legislation is available to the public to review until next year.
So not so much an empty gesture, but a gesture nonetheless. And I mean, here we are, 115. Why not just go for the all-time record? Why settle for third or second place, right? Well, I'm sure that there are a lot of people out there who probably can tell you why. Like, this might be a reason why. And Mr. Bedke mentioned it, the unpaid recess coming up, because as we inch closer to that all-time record date, there's been a lot of talk about how much more this session is costing taxpayers. We've talked about it before on the 208, but let's break down the numbers a little bit further. All lawmakers, both representatives and senators, are paid for their services, $18,691 per year. That figure, just a little bit more for leadership positions like Speaker of the House, assistant leaders, and caucus chairs. So that nearly $19,000 salary is just that, a salary. That doesn't change no matter how long they are in session. Where the days matter and where the taxpayer price really starts to step up like that Swiss mountain climber on The Price is Right is the per diem, the price per day. According to Minority Leader Michelle Stennett, who you heard from just a bit ago, the legislature spends about $35,000 a day per diem costs. That money used for living expenses like housing and food. And that breakdown of funds also a little bit tricky, but it all comes down to basically where our lawmakers are moving in from out of town. And for those who live within 50 miles of the State House, well, they receive $71 a day. You can see that blue box that's on your screen right there. That's about as far away as maybe west as New Plymouth, as far north as Garden Valley, and as far east as just outside of Mountain Home. And that's only about a third of the 105 legislators. There are 67 who live farther away and get $139 per day. Plus, all lawmakers are reimbursed about 58 cents per mile for any mileage costs, which includes driving around some pretty big districts out there across the state of Idaho. We went back and did the math. Over the last 20 years, lawmakers spent an average of 90 days at the State House each session. And that doesn't include any days spent in special session. So what about this year's session? Already at day 115, we are 25 days over that average, meaning so far this session has cost taxpayers an additional $700,000. That includes monies paid out during the 2-week COVID pause lawmakers took last month, but that doesn't include salaries for staffers, which is set before the session begins, nor does it include extra Idaho State Police brought in for security. We did reach out to the Department of Financial Management to see what specific account this is coming from and what it might mean for the budget, but we have yet to hear back. Back in session tomorrow, by the way, and another $35,000. And if they make it to Monday, and at this point, maybe they could, they will tie the all-time record for longest session ever and put another $105,000 in their pockets. Today, every Idahoan 16 and older can get a COVID vaccine, but that age eligibility may soon be dropping. Not that it matters to the parents we spoke with today. They will not be filling appointment spots for their kids anytime soon. We'd like to think of this as a standing appointment. 5 p.m. means the 208. An appointment that is more fun than a trip to your dentist. 5 p.m. also means, well, time to text the 208. 208-321-5614. Questions, comments, and yes, even your constructive criticism if the mood strikes you. But keep them clean and concise so we can read them at the end of the show. Medical experts are talking about it, predicting that the FDA will grant an emergency use authorization for the Pfizer vaccine that could be given to children 12 to 15 years old as early as next week. Yesterday, we heard from a few parents who are open and planning on getting their kids vaccinated for COVID-19. But we also wanted to hear from those who have decided, well, now isn't the right time. And we wanted to hear why. Katya Stepovic has part 2 of this story.
It just seemed like it came way too fast. I mean, we literally just hit a year of having, since we've been in lockdown.
David Phillips is the father of 2 girls, aged 8 and 12, and neither of them will be getting vaccinated.
We don't have any underlying conditions. We don't have anything that would make us consider that we're high risk. And I'm just a little leery of putting something into my body or my family's bodies that doesn't seem to be very well tested.
Another thing Phillips is unsure about is the potential side effects the vaccine could have on his daughters.
That's the scary part for me, is we're learning about the side effects as we're rolling this out.
It's really important that there's a lot of data and there's a lot of showing how safe the vaccine is. And that just simply comes over time.
Kyle Christ has 5 kids, 2 of them over 12, and he too is choosing not to get them vaccinated when Pfizer is expected to release a vaccine for those 12 to 15-year-olds sometime next week.
We've chosen that we're just going to fight this through regular immunity. We've already gone through COVID. We've already had it. Our health is ultimately our responsibility, not the FDA's responsibility.
Chris says his family has received most vaccines for just about everything else, but he says considering the potential side effects, lack of data, and the quick rollout, the COVID vaccine is a hard pass.
These types of vaccines have actually been around for 10 to 15 years. So it's been modified for COVID-19, but it's been tested in other things like cancer research, HIV, and other types of diseases.
Brad Bigford, owner and nurse practitioner at Table Rock Medicine, says the data is actually there. He says other than the bureaucratic steps or paperwork steps that go into rolling out a vaccine, nothing else was sped up during the process.
The things that were not rushed was the manufacturing of the vaccine, the tests, the phase 1, 2, and 3 trials. Those were not rushed at all. We know this vaccine is very safe, has an incredible safety profile.
Bigford says when it comes to the COVID vaccine, it shouldn't be about beliefs, but about separating myths from facts.
I'm a father, and this is something that I truly believe in, and it's not even about beliefs, it's about the evidence. Don't use, comment sections on Facebook.
One thing we know for sure, getting vaccinated is a choice.
And everybody else can do what they wish with their own bodies, but when it comes to my family, I'm choosing not to.
And there is so much information out there that makes it really hard to distinguish factual evidence from a myth. So Bigford says if you have concerns or questions about the vaccine, to reach out to a medical professional or your family doctor, and also reach out to friends or family members who have already been vaccinated to see what the process has been like for them. Brian?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're getting this information, this data all the time, but as we've heard earlier, this process may have been accelerated, but there weren't any steps that were skipped. But still, yes, we're not forcing anybody to get any vaccines in Idaho. Thanks, Katya. Maybe margaritas and fajitas on the patio is the plan for tonight. Well, before you go crazy with the sour cream, stay tuned for a little history lesson on Cinco de Mayo in Mexico and in America. You want more history lessons? Well, so do we. Tell us what you want to learn about. Text your ideas to the number on your screen. That number is 208-321-5614. Be sure to include your name and the hashtag #the208 so we can give you kudos.
One thing that is for sure, tomorrow, hot. Yeah, we're going to be getting up 87 to 90 degrees, depending on when the high clouds from the cold front comes through later tomorrow afternoon. Average is 69, but it's not a record. Record is 95 back in 1947. Now, we've had some hot days. March 28th was 75, warm days. April 3rd was a 78. April 30th, so just last week, just at the end of last week, we had 83 degrees for the high. That's the warmest so far. Tomorrow's going to be the hottest day of the week so far this year. We're on our way. This afternoon, 76 for the high, 75 for Mountain Home, 72 degrees for Twin Falls. Wind gusts for tomorrow. It will be gusty and breezy. This is typical. Now, high probability of temperatures getting up near 90 tomorrow. Not as high probability for thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. However, there's a possibility of that. And if we're near one, we could be seeing some gusts that could be as strong as 40, 45 miles an hour. We'll have to watch this. As you look here, you'll see the clouds coming in. That's for later tomorrow evening. And if you look at our satellite picture, you'll notice that it's clear, so we're good and hot. And then here's the storm out here to the west later tomorrow afternoon and evening. That could be some small hail. That could be some gusty winds, some lightning with some thunderstorms that at this point seem to be scattered. And then you notice how the temperature drops to 63 Friday, Saturday morning 36. Next week we start, guess what? Warming back up again.
All right, it is the 5th of May, Cinco de Mayo. No, not the day to honor Mexico's independence, as you've heard before. I mean, since when does America celebrate another country's Independence Day? Mexico's Independence Day is actually September 16th, the day that began an 11-year war with Spain and came about decades before the day known as Cinco de Mayo. The 5th of May is, though, a day of significance in Mexico, just not as much as it is north of the border. If you were to poll the nearly 250,000 Idahoans who are of Hispanic or Latino descent in Idaho, ask them if Cinco de Mayo is a big deal. Meh. Besides, it resembles nothing now to what it was when it took hold in America. Think a kind of Hallmark holiday with fewer salutations and more inebriations. If this is the first thing you think of when it comes to Cinco de Mayo, well, you're not alone.
Drunk people, people drinking beer in the bars. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Even university professors can't avoid it.
I think it's become very commercialized.
Dr. Dora Ramirez teaches Chicano studies at BSU, and she says the 5th of May is just kind of a carryover from outside the Hispanic community.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Yeah, I mean, it's not a holiday that we celebrate. It's a holiday where we're just like, hey, let's go have fun, but it's nothing that we do in our homes. It's usually a community event. It's kind of like St. Patrick's Day, where you have to go back and do the research and really think about what does this holiday mean and what does it represent to the Mexican community.
What is the biggest misconception about Cinco de Mayo?
That it's our Independence Day, which it's not.
Nope. It is a commemoration of the Battle of Puebla, however, a May 5th, 1862 victory for a ragtag outnumbered Mexican army over a much more powerful French military who hadn't lost a battle in 50 years. Even though it was a short-lived victory in Mexico's fight to remain independent, Mexican President Benito Juarez made it a national holiday in 1867. But even that didn't last long.
Puebla, Mexico, or Mexico does celebrate it. So does Mexico City, but not many other places in Mexico celebrate it. So it's very much a U.S. holiday.
Dr. Ramirez says Cinco de Mayo's stateside significance started with FDR's good neighbor policy in the 1930s. It got a bit more attention in the 60s during the farm worker civil rights movement, and then it slid back in the background for another couple of decades.
And it wasn't until the 80s that the beer industry decided, hey, this is a good holiday to make some money.
It was, and is, sometimes outpacing St. Patrick's Day and the Super Bowl when it comes to beer sales. I can only imagine this has to be a little bit conflicting for somebody of Hispanic heritage to say, okay, you're looking at Cinco de Mayo and it's very superficial when it comes to our culture. But at the same time, it does help draw attention to that culture, right?
Yeah. And I mean, the thing with Cinco de Mayo, it was also used in the 40s, after World War II to really integrate American, values and say, hey, we are all American. And that's part of Cinco de Mayo that I think is missing. in our conversations about what it means, it's like bringing people together, not separating them or segregating them.
Well, the first thing you said when I asked you, what's the first thing you think of when you think of Cinco de Mayo, you mentioned drinking. What would you rather people think of when it comes to Cinco de Mayo?
How we can get along, and that sounds so Pollyanna, but how two cultures on one land can come together and really think about, like, how do we connect?
And hold on to your hats, but the holiday has a history forged in civil rights and social justice commemoration. Yeah. Dr. Ramirez told us Cinco de Mayo's beginnings in America was a show of patriotism, but also this idea of instilling values of integration into a holiday. Its evolution into this manufactured corporate holiday, she says, likely won't change anytime soon. And that she's okay with that, she says, as long as we can get away from this appropriation type of celebration. The sombreros, the mustaches, the accents. Those things, she says, that are caricatures created to divide, not unite. Let's get right to your comments. Final minute here of the show on this Wednesday. This one sent in saying the Idaho State Legislature session running long because they wasted all the valuable time playing around with stupid issues that don't exist and are brought to our state by outside conservative lobbyists. They need to pay attention to Idaho and our issues, not be influenced by others outside. Well, hate to break it to you, some of that's also coming from inside the House. I get it. Seems like there are a lot of people in Idaho complaining about the government, however. It is ironic they get voted back in office time and time again. Voice your opinion at the ballot box. That is, if we're allowed to vote in the next election, says Jeff from Boise. You think the long session is costing the taxpayers? Just think about the extra money we'll spend in court trying to defend all the nutty laws that they've passed this session, says Deb. It's a good point. There's already one pending lawsuit out there. Pizza for capital. They probably will order Papa Murphy's, says BT. And I'm just going to leave that one right there. Just let that one go. Got a question, though, about Channel 7. The kids and I are wondering when all the Channel 7 newscasts will be back in the studio. Why are people still reporting from home? And will this be a permanent change? Just curious. No, it won't. In fact, Rick's back. We're starting to bring people back a little at a time. And by, I don't know, maybe next month, we'll have a few more faces here in the studio with us. Spaced out, though. We'll see how it goes. But great question, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.